Okay, it's time for the Q&A. The questions I'm going to answer are in the order which I got them, so if you ask more than one question, it'll just be answered in order. The first question by Rachel Suarez: has a book ever changed your life? Has a book ever changed my life? Yeah, I would say this one, because it was the first book that I ever was read that I liked in 4th grade by my 4th grade teacher. I did not like reading, detested it, and then I heard this book read to me and I was like, wow. That's a good story. And ever since then, I've been like obsessed with Because of Winn-Dixie. Even in the yearbook, there's a reference to BOFWD, which is what me and my best friend used to call it. I know that's not the correct abbreviation, but that's what we used to call it because it was such a big deal to us. Next one is by Freesa. What is the worst anime that I've ever watched? The thing is, I don't watch an anime if I turn it on and I don't like it. I just stop watching it because there's so much other anime out there. What would make the worst anime for me would be one that just makes no sense whatsoever. I don't like the ones where you watch it for like 5 episodes and you just can't figure out what's going on. I do like it to have a story. Next question is by Hugo Reynoso. What is my favorite camera and what is the best photo that I've ever taken? I really love my Pentax P3N. It was given to me actually by a YouTuber. Thank you so much, Therese. This is one of my all-time favorite cameras. It just takes a really nice photo. It's easy to use. It's not too heavy. It's not too bulky. But my favorite photo that I've ever taken was taken with the Holga 120 CFN, and it's not like the best photo, but I just think it's one of the coolest, and I love it because they use some light painting techniques to get the look, and it's just one of my favorite photos. Little Meeting 1 asks, what are my top 3 favorite bands? Well, first one is the Weebies, no doubt. I love them. They have always been my favorite, always will be. Second one, I would say Missy Higgins, just because she's got a really cool tone to her voice. And the third one, it's so hard. Joshua Radin's really good, so I'd probably say him for number 3. Next question by Rachel Suarez. When I was young, what did I want to be when I grew up? I, for some reason, wanted to be a marine biologist, and I had never even been to the ocean, and I just thought, well, how awesome the ocean looks. I'd love it. Being there for the rest of my life, working with marine animals, that type of thing. And then I actually went to the beach and found out that me and the sun don't really get along very well. I burn very easily, and it's okay. It's not my favorite place, so I changed that pretty quickly. Marine biologist. Rachel Suarez also asked, what, if anything, is too serious to be joked about? I personally don't like jokes that play on racism or anything that's demeaning to anyone. I just think that they're sort of cheap jokes, and I don't like those. So I would say that those kind of jokes are way too serious to be joked about because they're just not necessary. If you have to make someone else feel bad to make yourself laugh, forget it. No Good Names Left 71 asks, who's my biggest inspiration? I have quite a few because I feel like there's different people that can inspire you for different parts of your life. So I would say my mom and dad for my personal life, Steve Jobs for my professional life, Neil Gaiman as well for my professional life, and the list really just goes on and on, but those are the ones that really come to mind. Raphael Swift asks, what is my favorite book? Enough said. Actually, I didn't say anything. Ryan Orama asks a similar question, but a little bit different. What are my top 3 favorite books? Number 1, because I wouldn't read books had it not been for this one. Number 2, this is just a really fun, awesome read, and it sticks with you. I could reread this like 100 times. How to Lead a Life of Crime by Kirsten Miller. Really great book. Number 3, I Capture the Castle by Dodie Smith, just simply because the book is so simple and so inspiring that it focuses on the daily life of real people that, ironically enough, are fictional characters. And it's just a really good book to read if you're wanting to like unwind. Excellent read though. Edwin Parra asks, who's my favorite musician? The Weebies, definitely, just because they are brilliant. Their songs are so simple and so just perfect. Listen to them, guys, if you've never listened to them. They're fantastic. Don Arca wants to know how much I usually spend on film per month. Now, this one's a little tricky because I don't buy film every month, and when I do buy it, I try to get the best deal, so I'll buy it in like bulk. Usually it's anywhere from like $12 to $30 depending on how much I buy. Instax film would be more around the $30 range because I usually get about 2-3 packs of it at a time, so just depends. Rachel Suarez also wants to know, is there something I've dreamt of doing for a long time? Ben, why haven't I done it already? I would love to go to VidCon, and I'm actually planning on doing that sometime in the next few years, hopefully sooner than later. And the only reason I haven't done it is simply because of the money and because of my schedule, but it'll happen. Fitzmarinas wants to know, who's an author that I'd like to meet? I'd love to meet Neil Gaiman just because I feel like you could have some awesome conversations with him, and I'd love to sort of just discuss literature with him. Jose Kappa wants to know, do I like classical music? Generally no, but there are some songs that I really like that have a classical sound to them. I really love the song Summer from the movie Kikijiru by Joe Hisaishi. One of my favorite compositions of all time. I know that was a lot, but it's true. I do like some classical sounding music, not necessarily like classical music itself though. Jacqueline Gutierrez wants to know if I could live in any fictional world, where would it be and why? I would love to live in the world of Sword Art Online, because if it could be without the sort of like the death aspect of it, it would be perfect, because to live in this fictional world where you can really, the possibilities are endless. That would be amazing. Ethan P wants to know if I'm saving up for anything, and if so, what? Well, I'm pretty much just saving up right now to move out of my parents' house, because I graduate this year and it would be really nice to be able to leave when I graduate. Mavis Senpai wants to know what anime or manga I'm currently reading and what got me into anime and manga. I'm currently reading Kagaru Days, Bakuman, and World Trigger. Now what got me into anime and manga was the Hayao Miyazaki films, of course. They're brilliant, fantastic. I think the first one I ever saw was Spirited Away, and I was like, never seen anything like this before. Cynthia G wants to know what my biggest fear is, and it would definitely be heights. That's also something that I'm going to have to deal with if I go to VidCon, because I'm going to have to fly. Kelsey Scott wants to know pizza or no pizza. Heck yeah, cheese pizza though. Fatima Alzi wants to know what I think about The Legend of Zelda getting turned into a TV series, and what is my most prized possession. Well, first of all, I didn't know The Legend of Zelda was getting turned into a TV show, but if it does, mind blown. I love the concept. Also, my most prized possession would just be my photos in general, because they are my memories and I'd like to keep those. Mr. Jesse 2001 wants to know what my favorite Polaroid camera out of this list is. Polaroid Spice Cam, Polaroid Job Pro, Polaroid Express, Polaroid 1600, or Polaroid 636 Close Up. I have to say the Polaroid Job Pro just because I like the looks of it and it's similar to the camera that I currently use. Manal Ibn Bakir wants to know what is the type of genre that I read the most and why, and I would definitely say YA, young adult fiction, because there's so much of it and it's constantly coming out and flooding the market, so there's plenty to choose from, and you can really find some nice, really good reads in YA fiction. Ethan P wants to know whether I would rather eat a spoonful of ants or cockroaches. I'd rather say neither, but I guess ants, I can't. Thinking about cockroaches makes me sick. And he also wants to know, am I ever going to do a giveaway with one of my cameras? If I do a giveaway, it will not be with one of my cameras. However, it might be with a camera, but not one of mine, because they're precious to me. Daniel Russo wants to know if I've ever seen The Fault in Our Stars movie, and if so, have I cried at it? Yeah, I've seen it a couple times. I don't think I actually cried, but I did get teary-eyed just because I knew what was going to happen. But it's such a good story. How could you not get sad? Are you human, people? And Bark Nors wants to know what's my favorite book series of all time, and who was the first person I subscribed to on YouTube. Favorite book series of all time would have to be Divergent. I love that series. And I think the first person I ever subscribed to, I think it was iJustine, just because I was probably looking up videos about something Apple, and yeah, iJustine. That's all for the Q&A, guys. Be sure to hit the thumbs up if you'd like to get more Q&A videos, and subscribe if you haven't already, because you're missing out on the party. Nobody wants to miss out on a party. I'll see you guys later.